There is no longer a casino at the resort on Iririki Island in Port Vila Harbour in Vanuatu. The new resort owners, the Dealey brothers, Brendan and Mark, didn't want anything to do with a casino. Brendan, who spoke with Don Wiseman, explained their thinking.
Iririki Island Resort is Vanuatu's largest resort, but it's also the best positioned resort in the country, and it is now the number one tourism property in the country. In years past, it used to be the same, and it's suffered through some years of management, let's call it management neglect. We picked it up after some difficult times that the previous owners had, and we picked it up on the 1st of September last year, and we've been doing huge amounts to get the resort back up and running to its best that it possibly can be, and we're well and truly on that journey, and great things are certainly happening there.
Yes, well, this big resort, as you say, it had a casino and you've closed it. What brought that on?
Yeah, well, we never bought the casino. We bought the rest of the resort back in September, but we didn't buy the casino purposely because for us, we're not fans of casinos. And we don't, for us, it doesn't stand ethically where we are as a business. And so we left it. The casino was the one part that we didn't buy, but the opportunity then came up that we could actually take over and buy the actual building of the casino, and which is what we did last week. So last week we actually bought the building of the casino, but we didn't actually buy the casino license or anything. So we only just took over the physical structure and bought the tables and chairs, so to speak, and shut down the casino. I think we're possibly the first people ever in the history of the world to buy a casino in a tax haven and then purposely shut it down on day one. So it's just quite an exciting time for us.
Yes, and you feel quite strongly about this idea of the negative impact of casinos.
We always have. So we have a hotel group in Australia. Within our hotel group in Australia, we don't have any gambling. Gambling's not our sort of thing. And I know each to their own, and far be it for me to say anything about anyone in particular. And everyone has their own thoughts on things. But for me personally and for my brother and business partner, we're not into gambling and we don't like gambling. So when the opportunity came to take over that casino and then turn it into a conference centre, which is, a huge part of this. Turning it into a conference centre. Vanuatu does have conference centres. Iririki already does have a conference centre, but this will be Vanuatu's biggest and best conference centre. And it will attract conferences from all over the South Pacific, and we hope even from Australia and New Zealand as well. But, to come over for a conference now, for a big conference, 200, 300 people, we can do that at Iririki now with a conference venue like this. And the cost for people in New Zealand to do an international conference rather than a local one, people are going to find there's probably actually not that much more by the time if you flew people from Auckland down to a local conference centre or drove or whatever, and it's not a nice, easy destination to get to. You fly into the airport, it's only 10 minutes from the airport into the centre of town, 2 minutes on the boat, and you're at the conference having cocktails, overlooking the sunset.
Well, you're doing a good sales job. If only I was booking conventions.
It's just such a magical island, such a magical place filled with amazing people. And to be able to showcase Vanuatu to people from New Zealand and from Australia, it really is a place that I think that every single Australian and Kiwi with the means should take the opportunity to come and see our, what is such a local place to New Zealand and Australia. It's such a short flight away, but yet it's an entirely different world.
Yes, it's a tiny island, isn't it? It's unusual in a way, given the way the resorts have developed around Awhate, that there should be such a well-established one on that little island in the middle of the harbour.
Yeah, that's right. And I think as time progresses, Iririki will get better and better and will become on the map a lot more. And I think we're going to find, I'm very confident that Vanuatu is the next Fiji. And I think that we're going to find over the next, the coming years that more and more people are going to be coming from New Zealand to Vanuatu for their holidays. If you're looking at some of these, some of the larger travel players, like Flight Centre, those travel agent sort of style operators, they're seeing huge lifts in the number of bookings coming into Vanuatu year on year this year. So, I think we're going to continue to see that over the coming years as people sort of discover how amazing Vanuatu is.
The Papua New Guinea Barramundis are going to the ICC Men's 2020 World Cup in June. They have a tough pool where the West Indies, New Zealand, Uganda and Afghanistan will be the teams to beat. Head coach Tatenda Taibu and Cricket PNG Chief Executive Richard Done spoke with Elias Otora about the team's preparation.
Taibu says the team is preparing well at home, working on areas they identified from a recent Asian tour where they played a total of 14 games.
The preparations have been going good. We went to India, we went to Chennai, then from Chennai we went to Oman. From Oman we went to Hong Kong, played a series there with Hong Kong and Nepal, and then we finished up our tour in Malaysia. So a total of 14 games over a month and a half, which always is great preparation when you're building up a team for a World Cup.
The team head coach believes the team can go past the pool stage at the event as they focus on becoming a well-rounded team.
We can go to the next stage. Players are really looking forward to it and are really positive, and we are all positive about getting results, especially against teams that are ranked higher than us. There are a few things that we have started working on, really exciting. The changing room is really happy, and once we tweak a few things on the batting, I think we'll be a well-rounded team.
While the Barramunis are ranked 19th, behind the 4th ranked New Zealand, 7th ranked West Indies and 10th ranked Afghanistan, Cricket PNG boss Richard Done says they are going to the West Indies to compete and cause some upsets.
Of course, the big story for us this year is the Barramundis, our men's senior team, who go to the World Cup. We've got West Indies, interestingly, we've got New Zealand. We've also got Afghanistan and Uganda in that group. So we're planning on upsetting, a couple of those teams and trying to move forward to the next stage of the tournament.
Meanwhile, Donny says their pathways developed and implemented at home enables them to produce cricket players, despite the fact that rugby league is the major sport in the country.
In terms of the junior pathways, very strong. We've also introduced this year, we've gone back to having our national championships for the women and the men, both at 40 over and T20, and we're trying to develop our pathways within those regions so the kids have a clear pathway to what it's like to get to the top of the game.
That's Pacific Waves for today. To listen back, head over to rnzi.com/programs. We're also on Spotify, Apple and iHeartRadio. From myself and the RNZ Pacific team, Tofa Soifua.